Hey everyone, thank you for joining us live. I have my gorgeous friend Meg Hatt here. So Meg is one of the girls that I met working at the crystal store. So it's so lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining me. I know we're both in cold weather today here in Melbourne, sitting with our little heaters. A little bit jealous of everyone over in America and Canada in the middle of summer. It just sounds so lovely and looks gorgeous when I see the pics. How are you doing, Meg?
I am doing so well. Thank you so much for having me on today. I've been really looking forward to this and chatting to you and chatting to your viewers. So yeah,
Yeah,
excited.
awesome. And nice to see we've got some soul tribe in the house. Thank you for joining us, guys. And Meg will also have a little treat as well. A little bit later on, there's something that you guys will be able to access as well. So we'll get into that as we go. But let me just read your bio. So Meg Hatt is a human design and spiritual life coach and a 1/3 mental projector, which we're going to get into today. Generators, projectors, reflectors. And I'm missing one. What's the other one that I'm missing?
Manifester.
Say it. So we've got
Yeah.
manifestor, generator, projector, reflector. So you're passionate about helping people reconnect with who they are truly beneath the layers of conditioning, self-doubt, external expectations. And she believes that our soul chooses the exact moment we were born, arriving with a unique energetic blueprint designed to support us in the fulfilling our life's purpose. Through human design, Meg guides individuals to better understand their energy, recognize their innate gifts, navigate challenges with greater awareness, and make aligned decisions rooted in self-trust. Through coaching workshops, digital resources, she empowers people, particularly women, navigating seasons of change to embrace their highest potential and create the lives, relationships, and the businesses that feel authentic, fulfilling, and deeply aligned with who they're born to be. And having been interested in astrology and all different kinds of, understanding of our blueprint, who we are on a soul level, I'm always surprised when someone brings me something new. And you were telling me the other day you did a cute little Instagram video on my chart, just like a little breakdown of it. I'm like, what? I had no idea that I was born in a solar eclipse period. And we've got
Yeah.
that again for my birthday this year. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us and for all of your amazing information you've shared with me so far. Is there anything you would like to start with?
Well, yeah, should we start with explaining what human design maybe is if people don't?
Yeah.
don't know.
Let's start with that.
How many people, maybe some people listening, know human design already, or who has never heard of it before?
And you guys can also pop if you know your number. So like how Meg was saying, she's a 1/3. I'm a 4/6. Thank you, Lorianne. Oh, we've got some nice messages coming in. We've got the most beautiful soul tribe here. So nice to reconnect with everyone. So yeah, if you guys know your human design, if you want to pop your numbers below, but do you want to give us a rundown on what human design is and how you came into learning about human design?
Yeah, cool. So first of all, human design is a self-discovery tool. So similar to astrology, it's synthesized from different ancient wisdoms. So we've got astrology, the chakra system, the Chinese I Ching, and the Jewish Kabbalah tree of life. Human design was actually downloaded. It was a downloaded piece of information from someone in, I think, maybe like 1978 or the 80s, something like that. But it's really come into human consciousness at this time that humans are now ready for this thing, this new thing. It's new, but really, as I said, it's based on different ancient wisdoms, but it's a really, really practical way to see your energy. Your human design chart is basically your energetic map, and it shows you areas of your strengths and gifts, also your shadows, so potential areas for growth and your very purpose for being in this life. It's like, what did your soul choose to come and live and express in this life?
And I think this is a comment that really relates to, why we're having this conversation today about, understanding your human design. Because if we better understand who we are, then we understand how we sort of operate in this matrix. And Lorianne, I think you're spot on when you're talking about we're graduating into this next stage of ascension or next phase. It definitely feels like it.
Exactly. And how I came into human design, you know what? So I just saw someone post on Instagram years ago saying, "What's your human design energy type?" And I just thought it was one of those quizzes you can do. You know, like I have always loved to do them. Like, what Disney princess are you? Or what cheese are you?
What cheese are you?
You know what I mean? Like those random quizzes that you've always had on like Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I followed the link to see what my human design energy type was. And then it was like, oh, okay, pop in your birth details. Luckily, thanks, Mum. She knows my time of birth. I'm so fortunate for that. Pop that right in. And then so it came up with my chart, a little explanation of my chart. And I was just instantly fascinated because it explained so much, as it does for everyone. And then I just became super obsessed and passionate about it. And then I was asking my friends for their time of birth, doing all my friends' charts and my colleagues and just anyone that I could talk to about it. I just became obsessed. So just lots of learning through different podcasts and books and YouTube and everywhere. And then everyone around me reflected back to me, Meg, you have learned so much about this. You know what? This seems like your thing, your passion, because in the meantime, I was so depressed in the job that I was doing, which was so unfulfilling. So this kind of led me to my soul fulfilling path and what I'm here to do, which is in my human design. It's my human design is about translating complexities or complicated language into simplicity. So that's what I feel like I do.
Yeah, and you do a really good job of it too. And
Thank
it's
you.
just, yeah, it was so interesting having a session and just seeing, things be confirmed, but then also seeing that I can dip my toe in the water to find new ways of doing it and new ways of living. But it almost felt like it was a permission slip to be able to
Yes.
kind of fully immerse myself more in life. But it just, yeah, I found it so profound and so different to just a normal astrology session. So you guys will see I'll pop up little links in that. And we've also dropped things in the chat at the beginning of the chat. And you'll see things in the description box if you want to jump on over and follow Meg as well. And she's got little treats and things on her website. And she's also on Instagram too. So can you maybe talk a little bit about, do you really feel that we choose this exact moment to be born? Because that's what I saw when you sort of talked about things in my chart. I'm like, wow, I picked a very specific window. Or should I pop up one of the charts and we have a look at where you describe the 8 months versus the born time?
Oh, yeah. So first of all, yes, I absolutely do believe that our soul chose the exact moment to be born. So as an example, and why it's quite important to know your time of birth is that about 3 times during the course of the day of 24 hours, your chart can change just a little bit. And it's because the moon, the moon, we call it as a planet in human design. It's the quickest moving planet. So it can change little things in the chart, but just a small tweak can make a massive impact or knock-on effect. So yes, I do believe that me being born in the morning at about 10 a.m., I chose that because I could have chosen, to be a bit delayed and come out, 12 hours, of which one of my best friends is born about 12 hours later, and her chart changes a little bit too. So just that's an example. And yes, so you were saying about how the 88 days, I think, the 88 days with the conscious side and the undefined side. Were you maybe able to share the charts and then I can show people what we're referring to?
Do you want both together?
Either chart. You can show. Let's show yours. I'm sure people would like to see yours. What Soul's talking about? Here we go. This is a human design chart, everyone. Oh, Larry's a Libra. I'm a Libra too, Libra sun. This is a human design chart, everyone. You may have seen one before or not. You might recognize the planets, the planetary symbols on the both columns, the pink and the black column. So all of those numbers aside the planetary symbols, they're called gates. And gates are essentially if if we think of the 12 zodiac signs, like a normal natal astrological chart, it's just split into 64 little tiny sections in the sky. So 64 sections in the sky, they're called gates. And the planets, so the sun was in gate or position 4 when you were born. The earth was in gate 49 when she was born, etc. And this creates a genetic encoding of our gifts. So strengths that we're here to use in this life, but also come with shadows as well. And then on the design side, that's the position of the planets 88 degrees in astrology, or roughly 88 days before you're born. And that's kind of a genetic encoding of your soul, of the soul's wisdom, and more of the body in human design. So maybe the black numbers are more like your personality, your mind, and the pink numbers are more your body. Does that make sense?
Yes. And it was so interesting. I'd never heard someone talk before about that, we have sort of like a DNA map, or that we have, an astrological pre-birth print. So that was really interesting to look at sort of those aspects that the soul carries, and then the aspects of what we kind of concrete lock into when we're physically arriving on the earth.
Yeah, that's right. Because if you want to know the science behind it, it's because of neutrinos. Have you heard of the term neutrinos?
I have, but not for a while.
Neutrinos is said that they are tiny little particles of information, in the same way that DNA carries tons of information, right? So neutrinos are floating through the solar system always, all the time. And as they pass through the planets, they're actually picking up pieces of information that are stored in this neutrino cell that passes onto our physical body when we are birthed. And that's literally how we get genetically encoded.
That's so synchronistic to something I was reading this morning about the fluid that we're in the womb, and how some of that goes into our cerebrospinal fluid, and that we still today have some of that womb fluid in our brain. So I think,
how beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. So we're walking around with all this beautiful womb water. Yeah, I think it's interesting because, if we think about even with human eggs, and how, when we're in the womb of our mum, we were also an egg in the womb of the grandmother. So it's like, the nesting eggs, or the Russian babushka doll. So it's, I think when we look into this sort of mapping and this kind of decoding, it's almost like we're unfolding the essence of who we are, or who I think sometimes we haven't even given ourselves permission to become.
That's it, permission. I love that you said that word. That's such a key sort of why people love human design. It gives them permission to be themselves, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, and Emma's got a good question as well. So what happens when your design mirrors or is near to the personality numbers, especially with the outer planets?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that often happens because obviously the outer planets move slower. So in 88 days, they're probably not going to move as much. So lots of the time in the human design chart, you will, like I can see in souls, you're in your Uranus, your 43 is in both your design and personality. And so it simply means that there's it's a bigger emphasis, because whenever we see a repeated number in both sides, I can see now the notification's gone. Yeah, you've got your 43 and your 26 and your 57 repeated. And also people can have their gates repeated in both sides. Say, for example, there was a retrograde. So maybe their Mercury came back 88 days later in the same place, or nodes, anything like that. So it's basically just a bigger emphasis on this gate wherever there's a repeated gift like that.
Yeah. Oh, and we've got this little comment from Omar as well. So is birth not when we're conceived instead of taking the first breath? Did you want to answer that one, Meg?
That's a really interesting thought, I guess. And look, with different ancient wisdoms, It's not across the board maybe, but across many different ancient wisdoms, it's believed that 88 days before birth is when the soul enters the body. So when we are birthed, that is when we take our first breath. So that's when we have our first life. So at least I believe it's when we do take the first breath is birth rather than conception. I'd say yes, that's the start of something, but really the 88 days before birth is maybe the first time the soul enters the body.
And clairvoyantly as well, you'll see the baby spirit come and anchor for a bit and then go back off into the other realms and then come back in. And there's some amazing photos that I saw when I was learning hypnobirthing. And it was photos of a mum giving birth and the baby as she's coming down the birth canal, this big violet whoosh column of light, just like angelic presence either side. I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it. And the spirit energy of the baby literally coming through the birth canal. And I guess you would say sort of semi-fusing with the physical body. And Emma just said, Sol, you and I have the same numbers in the outer planet gates. Because Emma and I have a lot of beautiful resonance. There's just a definite soul family feeling with her too. So that's really intriguing.
Yeah, and that means that you'd be born around the same year as well, potentially.
Yeah, I think we must be. I think we're around the same age.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then because someone said 88 days, that's the Hindu belief you're talking about. Yeah. So maybe across different ancient wisdoms. I'm not sure exactly what ones, but yeah, thank you. So maybe Hindu is one of them.
Yeah. And so you were saying so we've got, I guess, that mirroring of some of the numbers being, the 88 days before and then some on the actual birth date. Does that mean that these numbers are sort of more reinforced or that we're more strongly here for that mission or experience?
Yes. Do you mean if the numbers are repeated?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Some people, it's so funny. It's just like there's a clear, obvious theme right now, and that's actually what I'm looking at a lot on my Instagram. I'm doing a series at the moment, a daily series called "The Most Interesting Thing I See in Your Chart," and that's what I did souls last week. It's just a little Instagram series that looks into just a quick look of, okay, what can I really quickly and obviously see? And it's like what I can obviously see, that is something that this is a theme of yours. So it's just helping people to realize and recognize, oh, okay, yeah, that's all about me. Maybe something that they haven't thought of before,
Yeah. And I love those videos. They're quick little snippets that you can just sort of like absorb. And you do so well at packing a huge amount of information into, something that might go for 30 or 60 seconds. So if you guys haven't already jumped on Instagram and follow Meg, is it Meg_Hatt?
Yeah, maybe let me pop it.
With a double T. Oh, and Lorianne has a question as well. So Meg, could it be that we decided at 88 days if we wanted to experience life in this particular timeline?
Oh, sorry, I just had to pause our mute our actual.
I'll pop it back up. So Lorianne was asking if maybe it's if it could be that we decided at 88 days if we wanted to experience this life in this particular timeline.
Interesting. That's a really good and
good question.
Could it be because you wanted to decide at 88 days if you want to experience life? Do you mean, Lorianne, and then perhaps not coming into to decide not to be birthed? Like, is that kind of what you mean? Yeah, you know what? I actually haven't thought too much about that and what that would actually mean if they decided not to come to Earth or not. I mean, obviously, for so many different reasons, right? Yeah. So potentially, I can't really answer that, but apart from potentially.
And sometimes I've heard some other clairvoyants and other mediums talk about that. Sometimes you'll see where there's a pregnancy, and sometimes you'll have where the baby's energy might come back and choose a different body. Maybe the body wasn't 100% functional, or there may have been something wrong. And sometimes you'll see that same soul come and reincarnate back, maybe a pregnancy or so later. So sometimes, things are, I guess, different for each person. But sometimes it's even the soul coming in to experience the love of being held in that pregnancy state and being loved by, family, not even having to come earthside. So every soul has a different mission or a different kind of experience that they need to experience. That's the way that I've seen it and explained it and had it explained to me when I was younger as well. So, I think there's lots of different things that resonate. Oh, and that's what Lorianne's saying too. Yeah, my point too. But yeah, please continue. What else would you like to show us and teach us?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Well, maybe should we break down your chart a little bit?
Yes.
We've got it here.
That'd be interesting. Thank you.
That might be interesting for your viewers to get to know you a bit more from another way.
You can, and I'm an open book in that way. So share whatever you like, Meg.
The first thing that we come to in human design, like the most practical thing that we want to take away from it, because as you can see, there's so many numbers, so many, shapes and whatnot. So it can go really, really deep. And that's what I love to do. And with people that are ready to go really, really deep, we can do. But if someone is just coming to human design for the first time and they're like, oh my gosh, so what is this? We would start by looking at what centers. So these are your energy centers. So yeah, let me actually say that. So most people on here probably know about the chakra system. We would usually say the 7 energy centers in our body. With human design, we've got 9, so we pop in 2 more. The heart is these 2 centers. It's the diamond and that little triangle. So
showing up on the screen. So we've got this one here, and then the little triangle.
Yeah, cool. And then we've also got the spleen as an energy center, which is the triangle to the left. And the spleen, we say this is where the instinct and intuitive energy is processed, as opposed to the third eye, because the second triangle down, you'll see in that diagram where you would think that's the third eye chakra. We still call it the ajna, but we say this is the part of the human mind that's just doing the hypothesizing, the mental processing, the searching for clarity, and intuition is down in the spleen. And then we've got the solar plexus is that the triangle on the right hand side as well. So it's just off to the side. So we'd look at what energy centers are colored in. So in my diagram, which are purple, and which are left undefined or white. And where we have colored in centers, this is where we have consistent and reliable energy, where we can always tap into it. It's always turned on in our body, essentially. So it's always working for us. So a soul has a lot of mental energy, which is always turned on, always working. It means that she's just constantly thinking, and in that thinking process where we have the colored in centers, we are actually sending out waves of energy of that thing, or whatever the energy is processing into the room. So soul is always sending out mental energy, which means she is very inspiring to other people, because just with human design, it's not even about the words that you say, although it can be. This is just energetics, right? So it's looking at, if we were just standing in a room together, what am I receiving from soul? And then vice versa, in soul's undefined centers, the white centers, what is she, or what are we picking up on from other people? So the white centers are where we're more receptive to energy, where we can take it on. And if we're not aware of what's happening, this is where we really want to look to for feeling the energy from other people as ours, and where we need to put in our boundaries. So some boundaries for soul, looking at her undefined centers, for example, if we look to the root center, which is the very bottom, the bottom square, having this undefined, I have the same thing. The root center in human design deals with the pressure of adrenaline energy. So the movement energy of feeling like you have to be on the move, getting stuff done. It can feel quite unsettling. it can feel unsettling for us when we are, me and soul, I'm saying we are in the energy of someone with a defined root center, because what that's doing unconsciously is we're picking up on that adrenaline energy from the other person. They don't know, unfortunately, that they're putting it out there just because they have a defined root center, but it will make us feel like, oh shoot, we've got to tick things off our to-do list, or that we would feel more uncomfortable with just relaxing and staying still. However, our gift in having an undefined root center is that we are great at staying still when no one else is around. Go on, what were you saying?
Oh, it's just so true what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So our gift is actually to be really still and grounded, so much so that if there's a task that needs to be done, sometimes we might have a hard time knowing how long we've got left to do something. For example, if I've got to leave to go out the house in 10 minutes, I think I can wash my hair and just like eat my breakfast quickly and like do all these things. So yeah, maybe you resonate with that as well.
I'm pretty good with the time thing, but I've always said I feel more grounded in the stars. Like I always just sort of feel like that's my home. And yeah, it's definitely fascinating because I can see people around me that will have, those centers more defined. And sometimes I'll see where it balances us, but other times it's like when they're like really overdoing it in that way, I'm just like, oh, I think I just need to have a break and go and sit by myself somewhere. And I see Emma saying as well, she also has an undefined root center.
Yeah. And so a funny thing about having having a defined root center, look, it's not like any design is better than any other. We are all designed perfectly. The one thing I wouldn't be jealous because I absolutely love my design, but people with a defined root center, these are the people where they can go on, those day talk shows like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and like programs like that, because they can deal with pressure, that they can deal better with pressure than someone I find with an undefined root center. Because in the moment, if someone asks us a question under pressure, it's like we first and foremost are feeling the impact of the pressure rather than the clarity of thought.
That's a great way to explain it with that visual of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that show, with the ticking time bomb where you've got to answer the question.
Yeah, do not give me a ticking time bomb.
And I just wanted to share with the audience as well. So when Meg was talking about like a lot of that mental energy and things, I can see that in my traditional astrology chart as well. So being a Leo with my sun Leo in the third house and Mercury and also my North Node and third house being a Gemini house, it's like Mercury, mind energy, speaking, YouTube, things of this sort of nature. So it really translates when we look at this. And that's what I hadn't seen with any of the other human design things that I'd come across before you. You really helped me to sort of see it as my personality and what I'm here to do in terms of soul mission. And Lorianne's also saying she'd love for you to come back for part 2 as well. And she wanted to ask, do these centers light up differently when we're able to comfortably manage our emotions, not reacting to events or being the observer?
Yeah, great question. So you have the same human design chart from birth till death. So it doesn't change in terms of your energy centers. They're either defined or undefined, and you have the same gates. They don't change. The only thing that does change, it's not like your design changes, but it's kind of like a little pattern on top called the transits. As you probably know from astrological transits, we have human design transits as well, as when all these planets are just going around different gates, and that can like light up other things in your chart. But honestly, unless you have a really, really good foundation of understanding and embodiment of your human design already, don't worry too much about looking into human design transits. That's the only time the centers may change. But around other people, yes, what we're essentially doing is if someone has a defined root center or splenic center, we are kind of borrowing their energy in that moment. So the most a great example of this is anyone that isn't born with a defined sacral center, me, for example. So anyone who isn't a generator or a manifesting generator energy type, we are always borrowing sacral energy from other people. Essentially, we're borrowing their life force energy. And it's like being plugged in to an energy source that isn't ours, and we can run it. But then afterwards, we need a lot of time to decompress again because we were basically using a fuel that wasn't ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that mean? So let me see the question again, because I kind of went a bit off.
Excuse me. I can explain it in another way as well. So
Yeah.
you know how we were talking about the two. So up at the top, you'll see that top triangle of mine, the violet, purple one, and then you've got like the little black with the pink. So we see the two places connecting. So this is sort of, I guess, me being able to, gather information in from the cosmic realms and channel and be able to decode it and put it into a speaking sense that we can understand. So I have people come to me to borrow that information and that wisdom, whereas I might go to someone else to be like, can you help me to ground more? Or like, for me going to Pilates, like I'll go to someone to help me to borrow a little bit of that willpower and
Yes.
that that dedication. Whereas if I'm to set it up here and do it myself, it's not going to happen. So I need to actually borrow that energy. Does that make sense when I put it that way too?
Yeah, that's a really great example, is the willpower, because what you're talking about with borrowing willpower is the little heart center. This is the part of the heart that's to do with our heart's desires, and therefore our willpower to do something and sustain doing that thing because we promised it, or we set our heart on it. And so what we have to be careful of, and this is a really important point, is that when we're in relationships with other people or we're around different people, we have to be really aware, and this is what helps us to be aware of what are we taking on from that person in that moment. And then, so if you can't come home from Pilates and you still feel like you've got all that willpower, you actually don't. It's not naturally yours. So then you'll get annoyed with yourself because you're not able to sustain something when you weren't meant to in the first place.
And I was just consciously thinking last night, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to book Pilates in the morning so that I have that sustained energy to do other tasks. So I think you're giving me ideas. I like this. And Omar's got a question around, and this is sort of like more maybe towards the galactic side of things. Mm-hmm. And he also said, I'm sorry if I'm sounding negative. So he also used to be a podcaster as well. And he's just saying, so are we on a prison planet and continue to reincarnate, but at the end, will we continue to go on? So I don't know if you've heard the term prison planet, Meg, but some people believe that, like, down here in Earth, that it's like a loose harvesting thing. And some of our, I guess, struggles or, the negative energies and that are being fed off by other astral entities or other different dimensional beings and things. Do you think, like with human design, or from what you know, is it something like a samsara, kind of like we keep reincarnating over and over again, experiencing different gates or experiencing different things? Or can you see in some people's chart, maybe it's a one and done, that they're maybe going to become a bodhisattva or a bodhisattva or something?
That's a great question. And I'd say, first of all, no, in human design, I don't think there's anywhere. I mean, maybe I'll have more of a look into this and experiment with it. I know in astrological charts, you can kind of see, is this their last time on Earth?
Oh, interesting.
Stuff like that. I think, if they've got lots of planets in the 12th house, for example, or I've heard if they have Saturn in the first house, that's something I've also heard. But I have more human design knowledge than astrology. It's like I came to human design first, and then now I'm supplementing it with learning astrology. But regardless, yes. So you can keep reincarnating with a different design, with different gates, different gifts. However, I don't personally. This isn't really a human design belief, but I believe that we do reincarnate on different planets and across worlds and timelines. I definitely know of past lives myself which were off planet. So even though, yes, I teach human design, there is definitely more to the soul's experience than just the human life. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you'll find a lot of our soul tribe as well. We're quite a few of us have done off-world regressions with one of our other friends, Jake Ray Hypnosis as well, and some really interesting things come up. Was there something else that you want to share about any of the different gates or anything? Or have you got any favorite things that you love to see in a chart? You know how sometimes we'll just get down the rabbit hole of just intrigue when it comes to certain things or patterns that you see come up?
Yeah, great question. My favorite thing in human design to look at, so when a client comes to me, it's just my favorite part of the session, is looking at their incarnation cross, which is their top 2 gates on each column. So their personality, sun and earth, and your design, sun and earth. Because just these 4 gates, they give us so much information about your purpose, how you're also about your nervous system as well, and what grounds you, what nourishes you. I just love these 4 gates. So I can come back to that, but the
That's
second
really
part, and we can come back to that.
Yeah, sure.
The second part of the answer to that question is I love looking at the arrows as well, where you can see soul's arrows. 3 of them point to the right. One of them points to the left. But whenever I see a chart that has 3 or 4, so at least 3 of them point to the left or the right, so all the same way, we call these people left-brained or right-brained. And so I love when I see a designs like souls where they're mostly pointing to the right. It means that this person is hugely intuitive and receptive and doesn't need to be so forward thinking or forward planning. It's just like they're someone who's in the flow. They're not worried about what's going to come up because they can kind of deal with anything in the moment. And it also means that in terms of a practical way of using this, if this was someone who was studying, for example, I'd say, look, you don't have to worry about making so many notes, detailed notes. Just listen to the lecture, listen to the video, and just absorb it.
That's what I did in college. Even studying anatomy and physiology, I'd put my giant anatomy book under my pillow and I'd be like, right, I've sat in the class, so please just absorb in. And I actually would pass test. So I think this is where human design can help to be like, no, you are actually onto something. There is so many different types to learn. And Becca's asking as well, where's the best place that you've come across to run your chart?
Well, you can run your chart on my website if you like. This chart that we're looking at souls. So these colors are on my website. Yes, thank you. You can put you can go to meghatt.com. The Self-Trust Blueprint is my 6-week human design coaching program for self-trust. And so have a flick through on my website. I think there'll be a little button that says get my chart, or you can click on the self-trust pathway, which you can get your chart, but not only get the chart, you can then start learning straight away with my personalized digital resources. So they explain all the components of your chart in not just a way that it's not just giving information, but I feel like it makes it really practical for, hey, how can I use this across my relationships and work? And yeah, all parts of you. There you go. Just looking through my website now. Thanks,
I'll drop it in the chat as well so that you guys have got the direct link.
Thank you so much. And then I saw someone ask, who was it? What is Soul's human design?
Thanks for that. Here we go.
Soul is a 4/6 emotional generator.
So from what I understand, it's like, what is it? Before 50 years old. So I'm learning, gathering information. I'm a teacher. And then after 50, which is only 4 and a bit years away, then becoming the role model. Is that right? Sort of like to put it in a little snapshot.
Yeah, exactly. So the 4/6 profile, the profile is so we have our energy type, And there are only 5 energy types in the world, so everyone fits into these 5 types. There are 12 profiles, so everyone fits into one of 12 profiles. But energy type is according to what centers do we have defined, what is our natural energy that we're sharing and taking in from others. Whereas profile, you could have a design that looks with all those centers like completely different in terms of the colors. But if someone else was a 4/6 like Soul, there would be very much a resonance, maybe in their friendship and just the way that they do life. So profile is kind of like the character you play rather than your natural energy. So the character that Soul plays is the natural role model. So you're just saying that when you step into your 50 plus years, that's when 6 lines absolutely step into their embodied, wise, sage role model phase. That's right.
And I think when you find out what you are, it's really interesting to look at public figures that have the same, because you can sort of see, I guess, on a world stage kind of way. So like Tony Robbins has the same as me as well, a 4/6, and 2 of the other girls in the crystal shop also have the same too. And it's just, there's this instant kind of gelling that also takes place, or kind of like rapport or understanding. It's fascinating. The other one that I saw was Oprah Winfrey, which I don't resonate with all of her stuff, but we know the sort of archetype that she plays to the mainstream media. But a lot of us are aware, I guess, of some of the darker things that are happening behind the scenes. But yeah, Tony Robbins, I definitely resonate with. And you can see throughout his life, he was gathering information, really having a desire to be able to take something, out into the world and transform people's lives. So I really resonate with him and his story. And yeah, I can see how in my own little way with my blueprint that I'm doing that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And the 4, that's very much like the 6 component. The 4 component is oh yeah, great, we've got another 6 line. So lots of six lines, 6 2s, 4 6s, 6 3s, 3 6s, any profile that has a 6 in, you will really feel, or might feel, that these are the best days of your life from 50 onwards. And then the 4 line for Soul, if she's a 4/6, that's very much about community centered, about creating communities online, in person, and guiding communities to be their best self. So it's very much heart-centered, charitable giving. I love 4/6s so much because I just automatically know they're going to be a lovely person. My partner's a 4/6, so I love 4/6s. They are lovely.
I'm so surprised by how many 4/6s I'm surrounded by as well.
That's nice. Yeah,
it's really interesting. Thank you, Lorianne. So she's just reminding everyone for live readings to come into the crystal shop. So I've actually dropped down to once a month just because I've been so busy with putting together some other things behind the scene and doing online readings. So I'm in there the first Saturday of each month. But yeah, it's State of Grace Collective, and Meg also works in one too. But if you guys would like to book a reading with Meg, let me just pop up her website. So we had it up here in the chat as well. So if you guys go on over, and sometimes even just typing your name in Meg, I notice that it comes up. So even if you guys type in, so Meg Hatt with a .com, and go and check out all of the little things that she has there. And I also just want to pop up while we're talking about it, one of my little banners. Here it is. So if you guys use the code Solrita for 20% off, this is for, do you want to talk about what it's for? You do a better job of that.
Sure. So I've developed the self-trust pathway, which is the pathway from first getting your chart to then fully recognizing these parts of you and being able to have this self-awareness and therefore embody this information. Oh yeah, you got it there. So roll through the self-trust activation codes, which is just a free download anyway. And then if you would like to experiment with the self-trust manual and reset, these are personalized your own resources. So it pops in your own human design information into these PDFs, and you've got a 20% off code. Just put in Soul Rita for you guys to all use. And then obviously at any point, like lots of people just like to start slowly with human design and kind of come back to information and see what's drawing them. But of course, if you would like to go into a one-to-one straight away, we can book those in, or you can book those in the self-trust pathway. You'll see links there. And then it's just more personalized, guided information, obviously, when there's a one-to-one, as opposed to what you can read online about your energy type and all of that. That's great. But I feel like a one-to-one really helps you to know, okay, how can I apply this to my own life here?
Yeah.
Oh, I love 2/4s as well.
And we've got the lovely Jim as a 2/4 hermit opportunist.
Yeah. And 2/4s are the most, I'm going to make a call, most interesting profile. Okay, fine. I'll say it. Most interesting profile, because it's the biggest push and pull. So maybe, Jim, if you recognize this in yourself, between wanting to be in your own energy by yourself and then wanting to be with your friends and community, it can feel like you are basically the extroverted introvert. Let me know if you resonate with that. And it can be really hard for 2/4s to know, oh, do I just need to be by myself today, or do I need to be with my friends? And the best way to know which, if you want to be, thank you, Lorianne, if you want to be by yourself or with your friends, just know that the second number in your profile is the part of you which is your body. So your mind is the 2, that your mind wants to be the hermit, to just be by yourself, but your 4 line in your body, that's the part of you that wants to feel safe and nourished by your friends and community. Yeah.
And he's 100%. I know of him as well, but when you were saying it, I'm like, this feels correct. So yeah, so interesting. And Emma's also saying, nice to have Maggie explaining all of this. And everyone's just, I can see lots of love and admiration for you as well. So thank you so much for coming in, for doing this. I think we'll definitely have to do part 2, because we've got a little over 10 minutes left. Was there something else that you wanted me to pop up on screen, or a different area that you really want to go into?
Where would you like to go? What should we do with the 10 minutes?
Let me check the questions and I'll see what sort of fits what I've got. Because there's so many questions I haven't even got into, which happens every time, because it's just, you go down this whole rabbit hole that it's just, it's really interesting when we've got a live audience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one is a good one as well. And I think that this will probably, with where we're navigating and going as a collective, we're seeing astrologically things come in that are, big purges of friendships, relationships, purges of like our old identities. And we're starting to anchor and start to gravitate towards new people, new things, new ways of being, new ways of living. So what are some of the, hold on a sec, let me just read this. So can you explain the different human design types and how to understand the type of transformation that you might bring, like to your relationship or career or daily life? So maybe if we just explain, I guess, the 4 archetypes and then how they sort of operate different in those ways.
Yeah, let's do that. So
Thank
really,
you.
that's really sweet.
So sweet of you.
So generator types, let's start with souls type. Generators are here to bless the world with their life force energy. They have an extreme amount of life force energy, meaning their aura is always magnetic and bubbly and attractive. Obviously, when they're in alignment, like when they're, using their gifts resourcefully, because with human design, it's always a polarity. We're not saying you have this, therefore this. It's you have this, therefore you have the potential of this. And that also means that there's the potential of not recognizing this gift and unresourcefully using this. So the resourceful use of a generator's energy is to build, it's to master things, because once their sacral energy center is lit up by something, like if they're just looking around or doing something at work, like a simple task that just really brings them joy. Therefore, that's lighting up their sacral energy. It's lighting up their life force energy, and they're able to go ahead and do that thing for hours and hours and build upon it and create something really amazing in the world. So that's a generator and their kind of purpose.
Yeah.
So the struggle or the pathway maybe for a generator is basically getting out of their head, making decisions from their mind, and getting into their body. That's the number one thing for generators. 2 generators in my household. Yeah. Because we're all conditioned and taught from an early age, right, to go with your logic. Have you written a pros and cons list? Have you really thought through if this is wise, etc., you know? And so generators have the hardest time, but also the easiest switch, once they make the switch, is trusting their gut. Because in human design, it's a really easy correlation to your sacral energy center is your gut reaction. So you are guided by your gut. Do you resonate with that, Soul?
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because being a celiac as well and having gut issues growing up, it's fine now. I know how to eat and studying natural medicine and things like that. I find that essential to trust my intuition, or to know, when you've had too much of a certain type of thing, or where you need to pull back, or, eat lighter. And yeah, so I definitely trust my gut in a food sense, but also intuitionally, with people and things too. And it's funny because sometimes as a generator, you'll go with your mind, or you'll be too much like analytical or projecting in a way. I know I'm not a projector, but it's like your goodness will sometimes project onto others, and you'll think that everyone sort of has, everyone's best interest at heart and things. So you learn through, I guess, bumping up against the wrong walls to trust your gut, but it's trying to sort of slow your mind down to go with that first gut feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, someone's saying that they were raised to follow their gut. Exactly. And I love that. And you know what? This is exactly what sorry, I will come back to the question.
You're fine, Meg.
This is exactly what human design is all about, is raising this new generation from now that we know their human design, your kids' design from birth. Therefore, you're not going to treat them how you would want to be treated, or how you think everyone should be treated. It's how they need to be treated, because you can actually know how to communicate with them in a way that they understand. So maybe we can go more into that another time, but let's go.
As you're talking about that, I really feel that's something we need to dive deeper into in the second part as well. And I think all generators, when they find out they're a generator, they're like, damn it, I wanted to be a manifester. But it's like, once you actually start to learn what a generator is, you're like, no, this is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Lots of people say to me, oh, I'm just generator. And I say, no, honey. Generators are so important. You're so important in the world, because so here's the thing, between generators and manifesting generators, another type, that does make up 60 to 70% of the population of the world. And right now, you can imagine 60 to 70% of the people living in this world are not trusting their gut, they are not following their joy and their passions. Therefore, they are not a lit up generator. A generator that's not lit up, they're in their not self, which is frustration. So you can probably recognize that 60 to 70% of the world are living in frustration right now, and not in satisfaction, which is the signature for generators.
Yeah, and you can see that.
Yeah. So manifesting generators, as I touched on, these are generator types, but a little hybrid, where they are designed for so many different things at one time to light them up, that these can be the people that often diagnosed with ADHD.
This is my partner, by the way. Manifesting generator.
Yeah, that they can have trouble sticking to one thing, like especially if they sign up for, a 4-year degree, and then they start it and they go, this is not I'm not liking this. It can be really hard to feel like they're always quitting things, because when they're sacral, their gut is telling them to quit something or to pivot. They're the pivoters. They are designed to pivot. So it's very much about trusting that they are designed to pick up all these different tools in their toolkit life, so that they can just weave all these different experiences that they've had together. They're also the people that create shortcuts and that create effective processes in work and business, because whereas generators really like to master something and do something well, you might be like, yep, I'm going to do A so that B, so that we've got C, as an example. Manifesting generators will be like, oh, we don't need B because I tried that earlier, so let's just skip straight to C.
It's a good way to explain it. And we've got Joe and Becca, which are a gorgeous, beautiful couple that I know. They're both generators as well.
Yeah, great. So generators we need you guys to be following your joy, following your passions, following that lit up sacral response, so that the whole world can benefit from your life force, from your magnetism. And then, so manifestors is the other type. Manifestors, manifestors, projectors, and reflectors are the three that are left, and we do not have a defined sacral center. Therefore, just to begin with, we need a lot more rest and recouping than the generator types, simply because we have an energy output, but our energy stores can get drained quicker because we can't generate that internal energy ourselves. We literally need to eat and sleep more. But the reason that we are like this, manifestors, they are the people that create that come out of their, let's just say, resting with a huge wave of creativity. And these are people often like songwriters or in creative fields, I find, not always, where they have an output of something like writing a script, writing an album, and then they go back and they rest until they're ready again. And that's their wisdom, is this hugely creative process. And then projectors, I'm a projector. We are the overseers of everything. So our wisdom is in seeing things that maybe other people can't. Manifest, yeah, like your game, exactly. So projectors, we're here to see the potential of energy and help correct things and guide people, which means that our energy can often feel very penetrating. And that's why we're called a projector, is because our energy is focusing in on other people a lot. And when we're focused in on someone, the other person can feel either very seen, like, oh my God, you get me, I feel so seen by you, or it can be really confronting. And then the last energy type is a reflector. Reflectors are so fascinating because they have none of their energy centers defined.
I know one, and she's really into human design, and it helped her understand why she kept coming up against people, in certain situations and things.
Yes. So as you can imagine, they are hugely receptive to energy, to everyone's energy. They have to be very careful about who they spend their time with and what their workplace environment is like, because they are essentially their environment. If it's their partner or, if they're feeling a bad feeling in their body, they have to first look to their environment and go, wait, is this someone else's? Do I need to cut something off here? But their gift is basically being like a satellite, like a radar of energy that can often be really intuitive into looking into the collective, into the future, because they're so receptive for everything that's coming in astrally as well.
Yeah, that's such a good way to explain it. And thank you also for putting it into just like the conversation that we've had today, because I know when you download the Human Design app, like when I downloaded it years ago, I sort of looked at it and went, oh, I'm a 4/6, but I didn't really understand, the depth and the detail and kind of the humanistic side of and the soul side of it. But you really explain it really well together. And that's why I wanted to have you on, just to bring you and share you with my gorgeous audience to help them get a deeper understanding of themselves. So for you guys that want to find out more, let me just pop up. We had it up before. So please check out Hatt with a double T.com. And remember, we also there is the discount code to get 20% off the self-trust pathway products that Meg shared before. And I'll just bring that little window back up.
Thank you.
So we've got the self-trust manual, and you'll see down here as well. So there was the self-trust manual, which will get you more information on yourself specifically. And that was the $10 one. And then you've got the self-trust reset. I'm already finding I'm getting into the shadow of Mercury retrograde. It's like where the words get mumbled and jumbled. And I think we'll have to come back and also go into your chart as well, Meg, because I really would love to share, because you being a projector as well, it'd be so fascinating. And I just want to remind you guys, the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there's 20% off for June. So I've only got, I think it's just a couple more days, because I'm not doing as many readings at the moment. So I've only got maybe, I think, 2 or 3 days left for bookings for June. So if you guys did want to get a booking, use the discount code disclosure. A lot of people have been wanting to find out more around the galactic starseed side of things, especially with all this ET UFO disclosure going on. And one of the other products that people are really loving at the moment is my hypnotic subliminals, which is here.
I can attest to those. I love.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, lots of amazing results with the hypnotic subliminals. You guys can jump on over and have a little read about that, read some of the reviews. And of course, we still have my potions as well. So yeah, love spending time with you guys. I hope to do some more shows this year too. Oh, which one have you got today?
I am that witch.
Oh, perfect. That is the perfect tea for the day.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just want to say thank you again so much for coming on. And yeah, people really would love to have, we've got Lorianne here saying part 2, 3, 4, please. So if you guys haven't already found out your human design, maybe go and do that, so that when Meg comes back on, we'll be able to talk a little bit about the different archetypes, and a little bit about maybe even some of the, I guess, the understanding behind why we do things at certain ages, and like why we might be gathering more information and then taking action on things. But I just want to say thank you so much. It's so lovely to share you with the audience and have you on.
Thank you so much as well. This has been so fun. And yes, I will definitely be back. This has been, great fun. Love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Meg. And thank you to our beautiful soul tribe. And we look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Remember, everything is in the description box below as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Until next time. Bye.